Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau and Samantha Perry with you on a huge Saturday here at Gulfstream Park. We've got 11 races for you. The last four, the late pick four, all stakes, a couple graded stakes, and monster day of racing here. Mandatory Rainbow Six as well.
Yep, it is, and it's going to grow huge. There's not a lot of games in town, as you like to say today, and it's going to be a big, big pool here. The last four races are all stakes races, a really cool late pick four stakes special. And congrats to you yesterday for taking down the pool. We had a one single ticket winner.
Somebody spoiled the party today.
Right.
357, I believe you told me, is
something
what they took down.
Yep.
Congratulations. It was not easy, but regardless, it's a mandatory day today. You know, the pool could still easily get to $1 million,
right.
$500,000 for sure. I mean, look at the early pick five. It's already 50,000 and counting. They'll send yesterday. Both the early and late pick fives had over $400,000. The pools will be massive today, as you said, and as I've said all week. There's not a lot going on, and even if there was, Gulfstream Park is front and center here during the championship meet. Two great, phenomenal turf races, the Oaks and the Derby, race 8 and 11. We'll get into it, but let's take a quick look at my early pick five right now. This is a tale of two different cards to me. The early stuff to me, I'm very, very tight, and hopefully we can build a bankroll early on, because starting with the Rainbow and certainly the late five and late four, they are not easy at all. It's just a $9 ticket for me. In race number 2, the top pick is the 8 Hammerstein. We've got a replay of that one coming up as well. In race number 3, my top pick is the 4. I do scratch into the 4. I lost 2 top picks today. There were very, very few scratches today. Somehow I lost 2 top picks.
Man.
Correa will be a tiny price in race 4. There's a single and another one in race 5. A short price on Self-Taught in there on a massive drop for Sandino Hernandez. So there you go, $9 to start things off. And let's get into the opener, Samantha. We are a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. These are 12-5 maiden claimers for the 3-year-olds and up. A field of 9, and you're going to go to the 2 Decisive Pride.
Yeah, I've tried him a few times.
Yep.
This horse, 3 starts back, looked like a winner completely. Edwin Gonzalez was aboard him and looking back, waiting for everybody to catch him, and he was nipped, and it was still a really strong effort. Then the next time they did the exact opposite and took him back, and then the next time, I'm not really sure what they're doing with this horse right now, but the good thing is you're going to get Junior Alvarado on him today.
Yeah.
And I think he'll suit him well.
Yeah, saw Junior walking in today. Always one of the good guys down here. And Javier Castellano. Just saw Javier, actually, on my walk over to the set, and he will ride the 9 in here. Welcome back to the Hall of Famer. Good to see him down here again. What a year Javier has had. Ruben Sierra trains the 2. Good to see him get a win last week after a little bit of a very slow ending, let's be honest, to end the Sunshine Meet. I went to the 7 Elevated Causeway. It's IRAD. It makes perfect sense here. Orlando Noda, a New York trainer down here. When he reaches for IRAD, he's 20%.
Yeah, it's a strong sample.
Without a doubt.
Yep.
Early pick 4 kicks off in race number 2. I've got the ticket today because Samantha's got the Tropical Turf pick 3, which we'll get into a little bit later on. It's a run back of my early pick 5. This is a good one here. Now we're a mile and a 16th on the turf, a maiden special weight here for the 2-year-olds. A rider switch to Miguel Vasquez on the 2. Tyler Gaffleone will not ride Missouri River. Miguel is here. You go towards the outside.
Yeah.
Brian Lynch has got a couple. You went with the other one, Dashman.
I did, and it was I went back and forth on these two quite a bit, but I felt like Dashman. I liked the race at Churchill Downs quite a bit. Johnny Velasquez is going to get aboard, and he's very good at working a trip from this type of post position. Yeah, and let's look at the 8 horse here, because you do have him on top. This is the other Brian Lynch, and I would suggest if you're playing the pick 5, play them both, or the pick 4. Hammerstein is on the outside. Now, Mythic Performance ran 3rd last week or the week before last on the grass, and I thought Mythic Performance was really good. Now Hammerstein just is working, I felt like, a little bit harder. He works well, but I just kind of like Dashman a bit more. I'm not sure. Dashman just kind of looks like a horse that will flourish a little bit more now that he's got another start under his belt. And nothing against Hammerstein. I mean, like I said, I would be using them both.
Yeah, it seems to me Brian's done this 3 or 4 times already at the championship meet. He's run dirt horses on the turf, and a couple of them have huge works just like Hammerstein
Yeah.
does, and they have run very well
Yeah.
in the afternoon. So just kind of take note of that. This is probably a tote board race as well. A lot of different things going on here. The 7 mutual interest there with Enlighten, who's clearly Todd Pletcher's got a couple of them in here. My G's the firster with IRAD, but they all have to be Enlightened. There's no doubt about that.
Most definitely. That was such a strong effort last time. It was easy fractions, easy lead, but he was really, really game, and he still galloped out past the winner, even though he was just beat by that much.
Yeah, and me personally as a handicapper, I love horses like Enlighten where they run on dirt and they don't do a lot,
Right.
and you can see the light bulb clearly went on once Todd got him over to the turf, and my G with IRAD, so they're going to play this horse as well. He's the Dam is a half to Mystic Guide, by the way.
Yeah.
And he was the workmate of the horse that was absolutely awesome yesterday, turf sprinting for Todd.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is really interesting. I would think that this horse, I don't know. When you see Todd debut one on the grass and with not a ton of grass breeding, you kind of question it.
Well, the only thing, who's to question a Hall of Fame trainer, the most prolific trainer in the sport, I just feel like maybe Todd's running this horse because it's 2 turns.
That's a good
That's
point.
all.
Yep.
You know, we're not going to stretch the 2-year-olds, soon to be 3-year-olds, out to 2 turns for a little bit.
Yeah.
He gets to do it here with the first or tough post. We'll see. Like I said, it's a definite tote board race, especially on a horse like that. They didn't bet Todd's firster yesterday.
No.
That one, literally, he ran 7 steps yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow. look out. Race number 3 on the Tapeta. These are 3-year-olds and up. They're non-2Ls. 8,000 is the tag in here. We do scratch out a key scratch of the 5 Drama's Prayer. That's one of the top picks I lost. Did you have him on top?
No,
certainly
not
in
on
there?
top, but
Okay.
in there, yes.
Yeah. So I scratch into the 4. You always had Tail on top.
Yeah, I did. I think this horse with Rowan Crichton, just first off the claim, this is a very, very, very solid barn with numbers with first off the claim, and hoping Rohan will get a couple home today.
Yeah, Rohan's down to 45% with IRAD, by the way, so they're slumping a little bit.
Oh, man, yeah.
49% earlier in the last week, I should say. The 1 is Peach Nectar, Jose D'Angelo, second off the claim. Let's take a look at a stat here, though. It's not, Jose does everything so well and at such a high percentage. This is interesting to me. Just 1 for 15, second off the claim in Tapeta Sprints. I move this horse up to second. He's down on the rail. I don't really like that either, Samantha, but he's
No.
probably going to be at least the inside speed.
Yeah, definitely.
Race number 4, we're back on the Tapeta here. Sprinting 5 furlongs. It's a maiden optional claimer. 2-year-old fillies in here. The Florida breds do not have to be in for the tag. The 3, My Blessing, is out. All right, good. We're going to start with you. You're taking a little contrarian view here. Grand Lady Mo for Victor Barboza Jr., who could have a decent day today as well.
Yes, definitely. He's got long range
Yeah.
shotty in the Mr. Prospector. Grand Lady Mo did not run all that great on the dirt, but you look at the work here leading up to this race on the
Sure.
Tapeta. It's a strong gear up race. You get Paco Lopez aboard.
Paco is off to such a white hot start
Right.
at the championship meet. Victor about 8% with first time starters. He ups the ante to 26%. You said it with the work too. I mean, Correa is going to be a huge favorite in here.
Right.
It's Bachero getting to the Tapeta. We know how big of an angle that is. Broke slow from the rail last time. Had trouble as well. And who is here? Irad Ortiz Jr.
Yeah, that sounds like a good mixture here.
For sure. Let's take a look at Nobasha, who was a Victor Barboza runner on
Yeah.
debut. Now going to go to Armando de la Cerda.
Yeah, they're putting the blinkers on this filly. I like the way she worked here, and I really do like Frosted's on the Tapeta track because they're just not very sizable horses. She's on the inside, and she's just doing things so much easier. She's just got that light body. There's not a lot to her. But this was a good work as well on the Tapeta. We know she'll handle it, and blinkers go on. I know they didn't bet her last time at all, but still, this is a sneaky one here, and Junior Alvarado does get aboard.
Yeah.
So.
No doubt. I mean, she seems like she's much more likes the Tapeta
Right,
a lot better.
exactly.
Cool tricks for Rohan, I think, is a very, very logical underneath. Good second on debut. Should be a little tighter today. One more before the break here. Race number 5. We go 7 furlongs on a fast main track. 3-year-olds and up. The little rain behind us. Rain is going out the window today. It's actually a 0% chance of rain. So we should be ready to roll today.
Yeah.
No issues there whatsoever. Here we're 3-year-olds and up. The tag 12-5 going 7 on a fast main track. self-taught's going to be really problematic for this group. Scratch to 5, by the way.
Yeah, dropping in class. This horse hasn't
Huge
seen this
drop.
level ever. And this is Sandino Hernandez. I don't take this as a bad sign at all. You want him, take him. What are we going to do with this horse? It doesn't matter. Let's get some money for the owners. Let's get this horse out of the barn if you want to take him and the win.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he claimed it for 20. He's already won for 20. He was way over his head last time. And by the way, Black Belt came back to run very, very well.
Huge yesterday.
Almost got home for you yesterday. Lure him in, got home for me last time in that race for Herm Walensky. That was a good
was
race.
Much better. I think now that we've seen the race yesterday with Black Belt and how well he ran, this flatters this horse quite a bit.
What do you do with our old buddy Rebelde, who's now lost 3 straight, but he's going to drop, and Team Acker reaches out for Irad too.
Yeah, you used to really bust my chops about continuing to pick this horse, and now you've got him second. I got him
second.
I think he might be tailing off a little bit.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with him, he was kind of a house horse throughout the summer here. He won, I believe, 6 in a row.
Yeah.
For Scott and well, for everybody.
Everybody,
and Scott got one for 12.5, so there's no worry here. I like what they did, though. They did freshen him up a little bit.
That's going to help, I think. And the fact that they're getting Irad says, okay, hey, there's some steam on this horse.
Yeah, Toscanino should be a price for you down inside with Kelly Breen, Paco off the claim.
Yeah, well, watch the tote board because they bet a Kelly Breen horse the other day that I didn't have.
No,
I mean, I in the mix, but they bet him like he couldn't lose, and he didn't. So
yeah, that has been working pretty well. So tab that yesterday. The Danny Gargan horse took crazy money yesterday and saw it out and won. So just tab that. Okay, 5 down, 6 to go on a huge Saturday here at Gulfstream Park. When we come back, it's mandatory Rainbow 6 time. My partner and I have a ticket. It's also Tropical Turf Pick 3 time, and that'll be a good one as well. Stay tuned.
World Cup. They're off in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. And they're off in the Curlin Florida Derby. White Aborio almost home. And Nyquist is still unbeaten. Orb and John Velasquez have won the Florida Derby. Barbaro wins.
And there you have it. Northern Dancer will be the winner of the Florida Derby.
It's tradition. Every year, the stars gather for a spectacle. Stars of the racing world collide to cement their legacy in their quest for greatness. Bear witness as we raise the stakes and shatter the status quo. Watch as the brightest stars in fashion take the stage, and we forge unforgettable memories. Be part of this storied heritage. Revel in performances from the superstars of entertainment, and the unexpected awaits you at every turn. Join us in this unrivaling celebration, where champions ascend and legends are created. This is the Pegasus World Cup, where stars align.
Back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you. An 11-race power card here. Championship meet really flexing some muscles today. 4 stakes races, a couple of them graded, and the 2 non-graded are as good as the race we've run all meet. I mean, phenomenal turf races for the 3-year-olds. We'll get to it. It's also Rainbow 6 and Tropical Turf Pick 3 time. Mandatory Rainbow today. Yes, somebody scooped it yesterday. Golf clap to you, whoever it was. It was not, well, obviously it's not easy.
No.
Still be a huge pool today. We'll start with Samantha's ticket, and then we'll go to mine, and then we'll go to the Tropical Turf. Let's see your Rainbow first.
Yes, let's see the rainbow
Much
here.
like mine.
Yeah, okay. So You see the really big spread here. That's in race 8, and you'll see it in my Tropical Turf pick 3. I feel like this Oaks could get very tricky. I do have the 9 on top implicated, but I do really like Starship Mentality as well, the 12. So the 2 Chad Brown runners for me. I believe I've got your long shot in
Paco,
there.
Dolce
Yeah,
Suppressa.
yep, I do have that horse in there. And race 9, I do have the 8 on top. This could be an upset, the Spirit Wind and the Sugar Swirl. In the Mr. Prospector, I have the 9 on top. That is Sibelius here for Jerry O, Grade 1 winner, and Madonna. Great Navigator. I know that's your top pick, Brian. I've got him in the mix as well. And the 4 Win from Within. This horse is really interesting to me, and I think that if you're going to really play this seriously, you should definitely go back and watch the Tampa race on the dirt last year. And this was a big claim here for the barn to take him and put him right back on the dirt. And in the finale, it's a really, really solid edition of the Tropical Park Derby. I've got the 2. It's a long shot, Legacy Isle, and we'll get into it a little bit later, but he's trying the turf for the first time for Rohan Crichton. I am really excited about this horse today. 57.60.
I am starting a similar path as Samantha. We're going to rip this Band-Aid off right quick because we have a huge favorite here and just got a single there. I'm a little deeper in race 7. I'll tell you what, a lot of people are going to single, then maybe all on the rainbow because you'll have a big favorite in race 7 as well. Race number 8, I go to the 7. That is my long shot, Dolce Suppressa, with Paco stretching out. We'll see if she can see out the 2 turns. Race number 9, My Destiny is a very bold best bet for me today.
It is, yeah.
It's a race you could literally use all of them. I'm going to take the contrarian approach. Race number 10, I go to the inside, Great Navigator, Freddie Owens Jr., and then in the finale, the blanket out there. I lost my top pick. Suzak is out, so I can't play him again. Big scratch into the 13. Do not ignore the 13. I didn't scratch into. I'm saying don't ignore him. I have Ohana.
No,
I scratch
agree.
into Ohanawara,
Okay.
who I don't love, but that's who I land on now. There we go, $80. Let's get into it now. Wait, Tropical Turf pick 3 for Samantha, and this is going to be a monster sequence too.
This really will, and I'm ripping the Band-Aid off early, like Brian said, like we showed in our pick 6s. If the 8 doesn't win here, I'm not sure what direction we're going to go. Now, it's a $72 play. It's a bit hefty, but this is a 15% takeout. These pay huge. For the odds that came in the 2 weeks ago, it was a really, really strong return. The 8th race, again, you just throw a blanket at it. But in this finale here, if you want to add in the 13 for a little bit more, Brendan Walsh's horse is pretty live. That does draw in. But, again, I've got Legacy Isle in there. And, of course, I do have Ohana Empire. That horse should run really, really well here today. A little bit of a stretch out. But $72. 15% takeout, $3 minimum. Get involved.
You know what? If Mboite doesn't win, we just come back in the late pick 5.
We do.
It's as simple as that.
Easy.
Okay. So, race number 6. We're on the turf. Firm turf course here, $25,000. 2 L's for 3-year-olds and up. It's a clean race. It all goes through. Mboite, who ran on the Tapeta last time, didn't really work out. He ran okay, but I mean, I don't feel like he really relished the surface. Massive drop from what he was doing up in New York.
Big drop. Got a little bit of a tightener after freshening up on the Tapeta here. And you've got a stat with Mike Maker and Irad that you found, right? Let's take a look at
this
that.
one. Yeah. Not a big one, but 3 for 7.
That's
I mean,
good.
these guys are prolific as it is. They're over 50%. That is, I'm not going to ask you to do the math. I will do it. It's 14 for 26 together. That's 54%. 3 for 7 Tapeta to turf, so it's working there too. You're right. I don't want to say Mike snuck one by because he had this horse in for 35. I'm sure he wasn't complaining when the horse came back to the barn and nobody grabbed him because now he's 6-5 on the morning line on turf in here.
Yeah, and the rest of the field is really untrustworthy.
I think that's the right word.
Yeah, I just, if somebody could step up, but it would be a shocker to me because they haven't. So.
I do want to talk about your second pick, Jebby, because we know the job Eddie Pleasa Jr. does down here in Florida, and it's a darn good one.
Yeah.
What does he not do? Never, ever claims horses.
That's you say that a lot, and well, when it does happen, and it does, like you said, it doesn't happen often, and what does he do? He just gets this horse right on the grass. It took this horse a while to break his mate, and we saw him earlier this year as well, but the light bulb finally went on at Colonial.
If he throws that Colonial race down, easier said than done, he's probably in with a chance in
Right.
here. We'll have to see. Aruba certainly very logical for Jorge Abreu. If it's not the 8, it really could be anybody.
Yeah,
and,
that's the thing. Yeah.
There'd be a lot of different rainbows out there. We're singling. There's going to be a lot of all balls hoping
Right.
for chaos in here. Late pick 5 kicks off in race 7. We'll go flat 1-turn mile on the main track. These are 3-year-olds and up. The tag is 62.50, and we've got videos to show a boldness. And here comes Bullet. Where are you going though? Are we starting with that?
Well, we'll show the ticket.
Okay, there's a ticket. Oh yeah, your ticket. Nice.
$54. Yeah, this race, I would, if you want to double your ticket and add the 2. I know my partner kind of added a couple more, but I do like boldness as well. There you go. You see, we talked about the rest of it. It's a tough sequence to end it. I got a little bit tighter later in race 9. I did drop a horse that you don't see in my late pick 4, and that's the 2. I did drop my Destiny. I don't know. I know you really like her. I could get beat by her, but there you go. $54 to play.
All right, so we'll get back to
Yep.
it now. You've got, English Bob is 7-5 on the line. It's Jose D'Angelo off the claim.
Yep.
In hindsight, Storm Brave came back and won the other day. I felt at 1-2, Source had to work a little hard last time.
Yeah, but it was a smart move, though, and they just kind of got wrapped up on in the later stages. He just drawn well in this spot here, and they claim him. They don't get greedy. Just jam him back in.
I'll tell you what, if you really want to have some fun in the rainbow, you could go single, and then just throw a blanket on the last 4 races.
Yeah.
There will be tickets like that out here because English Bob is very, very likely to win this race. I went against him. Like I said, I want to show Here Comes Bullet in boldness, okay? I got Here Comes Bullet on top. He's loose today. I'm pretty sure he's loose today. We're going to show the race here last time, and to show you how hard he had to work, he never got a breather because Morgan Point was nagging him the whole way. This race fell apart a little bit. Morgan Point finished 3rd in this race. This is just, I know Here Comes Bullet was 4-5. This is not the trip he wanted to pull. Today, I don't see anybody running with him early on, and I'm hoping he gets Brave in here.
He could, and you don't even see boldness in your screen.
Not even in the screen.
Yeah,
no.
he's nowhere to be found. And I picked him that day, too, and I was very worried about that. And he got it done on the line. But, hey, you make a good point. If this horse gets loose in here, it's not like this is a group that comes flying.
Exactly. I think that's a good point, and maybe we get a flow advantage as well. All right, let's get into the late pick 4 now. We don't need to show my ticket. It's a run back. We've got a lot to talk about. This is a Tropical Park Oaks. This is the return of Cairo Concert. We saw her the last 2 days right behind us, schooling in the paddock. A full, robust field of 12 in here. The 13 does not draw in. Nobody wanted to come out. They all want to play. Let's start with the 9, your top pick, first of all, because they implicated and
Startup Mentality.
Both ran at Aqueduct last time, and we'll talk about this race. Implicated winning the Grade 3 Pebbles.
And that was a losing leg for us on a day we played.
We did not have Implicated.
Yep. Okay, so this was the Grade 3 Pebbles. This was sorry to remind you, this was the other Chad Brown.
Yes, you're
here.
right.
Implicated thanks guys, a pocket trip here the whole time. Set up absolutely perfectly. We had Rhiannon, just to remind you of that, sorry. But Starship Mentality, this horse was 3 wide the whole time. Got a better number on the sheets because of that. The race just kind of fell into Implicated's lap there, and it worked out really well, but she still ran well. And hindsight's always 20/20. We didn't put her in the ticket. We thought Rhiannon was going to be a killer. I think Rhiannon wants to go longer than what she got that day in the Pebbles. But Implicated still, she's only had 5 starts, and she's got 3 wins. You see Starship Mentality closing some ground there. Maybe I beat her up too much in that Pebbles race.
I'm not going to argue with that. It's tough to watch that replay and put Startup Mentality over Implicated today because the same thing's going to happen.
Exactly. Starship Mentality almost just hung a little bit too. Yeah.
Right. So I feel like, I've got Implicated in second. She's a huge threat in here.
Right.
She's a Grade 3 winner. I think that's kudos to her as well. And she's going to get her running style is always going to allow her to get a better trip than Startup Mentality. And, again, Startup Mentality's out in the parking lot. It is a big problem for her. Dolce Suppressa is my long shot today. I readily admit I have no idea if she's going to see out 2 turns. Is she loose in here under Paco? Maybe. You look
Yeah.
at the 6 furlong races at Woodbine. She was really good. They're flying early. We know how aggressive Paco can be.
Yeah, if he could very well steal this on the front
Yeah.
end here today.
This is a massive rise in class.
Right.
With that being said, let's show you the house horse now, Cairo Concert. We haven't seen her in May, and I'm going to show you the race here in the Sweet Charm. This is amazing. Okay, watch the start, and then what we'll do is we'll go to the far turn. Okay, she basically said, you know what, I'm so good, I'll give him 10 lengths out of the gate. She walks out of the gate,
Yep.
and she's nowhere. It's like, did she pull up? What happened here? Now she's going to get into the picture here on the far turn, and this is Alpha Bella too. Okay, she's getting first run. She's getting a perfect 3-wide stalking trip. She's going to end up being second in this race. And watch Cairo Consort and Irad just threading his way through in here. He's actually still going to have a little traffic here. And when he produces her mid-stretch out in the center, watch this.
She's gone.
Gone.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful effort, and that was actually her last victory. But to her credit, look who she was running against.
Sure.
Keeneland in the Grade 2 Appalachian, Churchill Downs in the Edgewood. Those were some strong horses.
I love watching Irad on the turf. He did it the other day with Noted. You know, you're like, oh my goodness, he's not going to get there. He's not going to get there. And then he just wraps up at the
easy.
end.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah.
She's scary in here because now, theoretically, she's a bigger, stronger, meaner,
Version,
still 3-year-old
yep.
filly.
Yep.
She's going to have to work out a trip, but, boy, they're going to know she's in there. It's exciting to see her back here.
Yeah.
Race number 9 kicks off back-to-back graded stakes races on the dirt. This one is the Sugar Squirrel, Grade 3 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. 6 furlongs. You're going to go. Headland is out. The 6 we'll see at our sister track at Laurel today. You're going to go with Spirit Wind. Honestly, I'm sure she's legged up more than this. I'm seeing 2 works on the page.
Yeah, she's got to be here, especially to be jammed in a spot like this. But she runs well, fresh, and that's what I'm hoping for, and she's drawn well.
She's really good on her day, and I do think it's significant that Carlos David, who takes over here, is going to run her right here in the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl. She draws well. She's very, very fast. This is a good post. Look at who she's tangled with the last time we saw her. Echo Zulu, who's, absolute champion. In best bet here, My Destiny. It's an aggressive one. I admit it. But what it also does is it gives me a leg up on everybody else because I think people are spreading in this race.
Yeah, you would think so.
And she's good. She's 4 for 10 here at Gulfstream Park on the main track for Herm Walensky. And Herm and the team have done a phenomenal job with her. She got caught in a speed duel up at Mahoning Valley. She does not want to be in a speed duel, and she won't be today.
No, she won't. In Mahoning Valley, we saw those races fall apart in the lane those days, too, those stake race days. So she likes to win. She really does. She'll have to improve, though.
I think she can settle a little bit, and that'll help her. She's got figures that make her a player in here. She's right. She will have to class up in here. Safi's got a couple. He's got Intrepid Daydream. He's not had her long. We talked to him. We'll air that a little bit later on. She is a freak, has won 4 straight up in the Mid-Atlantic. Yeah,
well, let's show the replay of her winning the Politely. And I remember you were up there that day.
I was.
What a impressive filly she is. She runs zeros on the sheets.
Yeah,
I mean, nobody
numbers.
is doing that in this field.
Yeah, this is the Politely. I was up there for the Maryland Million when she actually had to draw into the race, believe it or not.
Wow.
And watch her streak home here. She does not need to make her own running. She does not need to take her track with her. You see Laurel, Delaware, Pimlico, Colonial. She just anywhere they bring her. And now it's exciting to have her down here in South Florida. Yeah. We'll hear from Safi a little bit later on. But they're going to know she's in there. That is for sure. Late double kicks off in the Grade 3 Mr. Prospector. Race number 10. This is the boys' version of the Sugar Swirl, the Grade 3 in here. The gang is all here, and the gang starts with, Sibelius. Jerry O's trying to get him back to his win last year in this race.
And he's coming into this race this year in the same exact pattern he came into the last race last year, except -1 race. He runs well off this type of little break. And let's watch his Mr. Prospector win last year. It was a big one here, and it set him up well. This is a Grade 1 horse, and he went up in just a phenomenal ride by Ryan Moore across the pond to Maidan in Dubai to win the Golden Shaheen. That was not an easy race. He really kind of had it fall into his lap that day, and he might be the luckiest horse in the world, but his breezes leading up to this have been really solid, Brian, and this is going to be the day. This is kind of put up or shut up for him. He's been drawn way too tough in his last 2 races here, traveled around. Now he's been settled a little bit. Let's see.
we're going to, Jerry O'Dwyer and the team and everybody, us too, are going to find out the path Sibelius will take for the rest of the year after this. If he wins, if he looks good, he can go back to Dubai. If not, well, then we got to figure it out because, as you said, you know, the horses in the Phoenix, certainly the Bing Crosby. Listen, Sibelius is a really good horse. That's a bridge probably a little too far for him. I didn't know what to make of Sibelius. I'll readily admit it, and that's one of the reasons I went with the one great navigator. Eddie Owens Jr. does such a good job. And, boy, I'll tell you what, this horse stepped up. I know it wasn't like he was threatening Cody's Wish in the Vosburg. Boy, he stepped up, though.
He really did. He did big time, and that was just such a strong effort, and that's a tough that's a tough race to be knocking heads with.
Oh, yeah.
It's just it's different. And this horse, it's cool to watch because I was there when this horse broke his maiden. That was Sea Wizard's first winner at Monmouth. And Sea Wizard and Eddie Owens and the crew, they've just done such a good job. Holly Crest Farm has the horse. So he'll have to bring it today. But I like the one-turn distance.
Yeah, and I just think he's lightly raced with a world of upside. Gilmore cutting back for Brendan Walsh, your old buddy Long Range Toddy, Hurricane J. Hey, talk about win from within, though. They paid $150 to claim him at Churchill.
Yeah, this is sneaky. Now, looking at the sheets last night, I was thinking he's going to have to step up. His numbers on the grass are 5s and 8s, but last year on the dirt, he was running 4s. Now, that will play with a group like this, and he hasn't been on the dirt since last year, and that was a strong win. And I don't want to say he got lucky with the races he was winning on the grass because he did show talent, but maybe at the end of the day, this is just a dirt horse, and he's gotten lucky on the grass.
Billy Morey does a good job. If you're not familiar with the job he does at Churchill Downs, and I think he's over at Tampa this winter. He's already run a few horses here. He knows what he's doing. He's got the 2 in here as well. So check out him if you're looking. Should be a little bit of a price. Maybe they bet him. I'm not sure, but I think theoretically he should be a price. Let's wrap it up, and maybe the best race of the day, the Derby, Tropical Park Derby in race number 11. We're going a mile and a 16th. A key scratch. I did have Suzak the 12 on top. The key is that he is out, and it brings Irish Aces in. Harrington's out, right, guys? I hadn't had it early, but I'm assuming Harrington's going to come out. He's got to. Needs another scratch. Irish Aces is in. I think that's important. All right, you're going to try to hold it. Okay, you're going to hold your breath for hopefully about 1 minute and 40 seconds and see if Legacy Isle can see this thing out on the front end.
Well, why not? His half-sister was a 1.5 mile graded stakes placed horse in California. She ran 6s on the grass on the thoroughgraph sheets. This is a horse to me that he's never really broken through with big numbers in those 3-year-old races this year, and that was tough company. He's just never really gotten there, and he doesn't run so fast on the dirt, which I like. If he would have been running 5s or 4s on the dirt, on the grass here, I would say no way, he's too fast on the dirt, but he hasn't. He just kind of sticks at those 10s here. Rowan Crichton puts him here. This is just a very sneaky move for me, and I'll admit this is a big shot, but he comes off the bridle in those dirt races like he is a bit of a grass horse. It's a big stab here, but if he takes to it, like I like to say, they try hard. They run a big race first time. This is deep waters, though. Yeah,
I think that's a problem for you because Eyes on the King to the inside is not letting anybody go early, and they might get a really hot and really bothered in here. I scratch into the 9 Ohana Honor. I don't love him. He's the horse to beat. I get all of that. I will say this about him, though, because there are other horses in here, the Smoky Mandates, certainly the Anglophiles. I think this trip for Ohana Honor is what he really wants.
It is, definitely. Right. But on the contrary to this, that race where Northern Invader for Cherie DeVoe won the Belmont Aqueduct, the Gio Ponte, this horse was flying late, okay? You watch the gallop out, he never went by.
No, and he had a good trip that day as well.
You're supposed to, maybe he has a little bit of H in him, the hang word in him, but you're supposed to just go right on by. And Northern Invader, I don't want to take anything away from him, but Northern Invader ran his eyeballs out that day, and Ohana Empire still never went by.
Northern Invader ran harder in that race.
Exactly. And so Ohana Empire is supposed to just cruise by on the gallop out. Never did.
I agree with you. Super Blessing. Don't sleep on him. He's got a big turf race for Trombo up there at Woodbine, and that is a race, at least on paper, that would make a dent in here, and you've got him in there.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, as you should. That was a big race. He's got a little bit of a tune-up here in the showing up stakes, and that I like to see that. That's just kind of a little geared up.
Yeah, the horse I really want to fade today is Anglophile. I had him third. I
Okay.
scratched into him, so it appears like I like him a little bit more. He wants longer than this, I
Exactly.
think. So tread a little lightly.
Yeah, that might be just kind of a cut too short
Yeah.
for him. And, the 13, just quickly, because this is a horse that he's gelded.
Right.
And he's won 2 in a row. But I know Brendan's barn, when they're taking a horse to Indiana to break his maiden,
Yeah. No,
the
and
race could come up. I'm not saying that at all.
he definitely moved
but-
forward in his last.
Yeah.
All right, quick lightning round here. We got to send it upstairs to Pete. I am Beat the Expert today, which reminds me I better send over my picks to the
You got
Well, they're out there.
Yeah,
Come
you're
on.
good. You're good.
They're
No
all
worries.
out there. But I am Beat the Expert today. If you're on track, $500 up for grabs if you can beat me.
Oh, you're matching.
If you can beat me today, 50 online. So take note of that. I don't know. I look pretty confident there.
You
I
do.
think I
You
might have
look
been out
like-
a little late the night before, too, there. But Mando, okay, mandatory today as well. I know somebody hit it yesterday, and my goodness, good for
Good
you.
job, yeah.
But there'll still be a huge pool today kicking off in race 6. So we'll tweet it out. We'll talk about it. We both got tickets as well. Your best bet today?
It comes in the first race. It's a bit of a aggressive one, but Decisive Pride.
Okay, I got an aggressive one too, and it's right in the rainbow. It's
Right.
My Destiny and the Sugar Swirl for Herm and Sam in there. They've done such a good job. Your long shot today.
In the finale, Legacy Isle.
Oh, good. Well, that is a true long shot
Yeah.
for sure. And I'm in the rainbow as well with my long shot, and that is race 8, Dolce Suppressa. I'm going to try to see 2 turns out. Tomorrow, we're going to bring back the H. Allen Jerkins. The gang is still all here. 2 miles on the turf. That is pretty cool. We're looking forward to that. This is Value Engineering winning the McDermott here last year, and he's all class.
Yes, he is. And it was supposed to be on the Tapeta before we got canceled last week due to some crazy weather. But he looks tough in here. Not my top pick, but he'll be tough.
And then last but certainly not least, that Tropical Turf Pick 3 kicks off with the Rainbow 6 as well. You've heard Samantha and I talk about it quite a bit. It's a great bet, 15% takeout and a $3 base wager. The one a couple weeks ago had basically 3 favorites. I think it paid $163.
Yep.
So get involved. We've got a motor here. Pete's upstairs. We've got a huge card kicking off shortly. He doesn't have a lot to do. Not too many scratches and changes. We're happy to have you aboard on a huge Saturday here at Gulfstream Park.